Hi, I'm Chris. And as I'm filming this video, it's almost Thanksgiving in the US, and all I can think about is food. I wanted to share a really fun illustrated recipe project with you because you can do this any time of year with any kind of recipe. It's just a matter of arranging your items on your paper. Now, I've been sharing a lot about gratitude journaling these last several weeks, and this is a very good base for what we're going to be doing with our recipes. Basically, little illustrations with a little bit of verbal narration and a title. This can be really rough and still look very beautiful. I'm not a letterer by any means. Watercolor just makes everything more beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a fresh page. And I'd like to do a turkey and stuffing recipe. So my thought was to put the turkey in the center, and I'm kind of doing this from memory. So let's see how I do. A turkey breast with some legs and bone. I want to make it small enough. I have room for other illustrations on here and like other elements like the ingredients and of course some wording. I'm not going to make a detailed recipe. And I'm sorry for this light cutting across the afternoon. So hopefully I can keep the illustration part off of that. And then I'm just going to show a bone coming on the other side so it looks even. It makes sense visually. And then I'm going to draw a platter around the turkey. So it's not just hanging out there. I'm going to make a little indentation on the plate, give it a little personality. Doesn't have to be super detailed, but just enough to give it a little bit of personality, a little bit of shape. We're done with that. From here, I want to definitely add a title. This is the most important thing, so I wanted to get that on here. And I'm going to call this Turkey and Dressing, because that's another word for stuffing out here. And I might make that a little lower. I might make it a little bigger. I don't know, but at least it's fitting and it's kind of in the center. My line ends here where this perforation is. So now I have plenty of room to do all kinds of other things. So I'm going to start adding little ingredients. And first thing I'm going to add is an onion. This will be a red onion. In fact, maybe I don't want it up there because I'm going to make these letters that same color. So these are things that you can think about when you're making an illustrated recipe, like where your things should go, what colors will they be. If you keep your colors balanced, like if I put that red onion down here, it'll pull that color down here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that actually. I'll just put it here. I like that one better anyway. Okay, that's my onion. And then I want a garlic clove too. Okay, awesome. They can kind of be close together because they kind of go together. And then I'm going to be doing some carrots. Super basic. And maybe another one next to it. And also some celery. I'm just going to show some celery sticks. Kind of like that. Show another one next to it. It's a little crooked, but that's part of the charm. Doesn't have to be completely straight. That one was a little hard to read, so I'm just going to redo it. Just remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just good fun. And if you have to redo it 50 times, then it's not fun anymore. And I'll do maybe one more coming this way. Maybe these two will be on top of it a little bit. So this one's just going to be facing straight forward. And I'll just keep adding elements. I love to put apples into my stuffing. One apple and maybe some raisins. And some pine nuts too would be really fun. I'll just do the same little circles down here for that. Let me do a bowl to show the actual stuffing. And I don't have to show the inside of the bowl. This bowl can be a color. And then I'll just make cubes of the breadcrumbs. This year I'm going all gluten-free and doing cornbread stuffing. I just feel better when I eat gluten-free. That's going to be really tasty and nice. I don't have to get too precious with this, but this is probably just enough detail. That's great. And then, so that'll be the stuffing. And then maybe some olive oil would be really cool. So since I have stuff coming up here, I'm going to put the olive oil bottle here. And I'm keeping these really small so everything fits nicely. And I'm just literally sitting here. What do I put in my turkey? It can be that as simple as that, or you can have a recipe next to you. Olive oil. I can have a recipe next to you and reference images and all of that if you like. Okay, so I'm going to put the word recipe here because I didn't think to do that before. There's plenty of room right there. And then I'm just going to actually just label these things. I wish I could lower this turkey now, but maybe I will. We'll see. And then down here, I'm going to put some directions and leave a little room for the turkey to come down. Now it's time to start painting. I'm going to go ahead and start with this fall set. I'm using the Viviva Colors fall color sheets and the original cork pan set. These colors will be perfect. The autumn leaf is what I'm going to be using for the title and for the onion, and we'll see what else I can work it into. This color is kind of a combination of brown and red and orange. It's really gorgeous. And it's kind of my favorite color of the season. I keep coming back to this color over and over again for my projects. Going a little bit lighter for this word. I have a little test pad here I love to test my colors on. Want this turkey to look nice and goldeny and that beautiful baked color. So I'll be adding more layers to this to see how I can make that happen. Let that dry and maybe I'll paint some carrots. Pretty simple and straightforward. I mean, they don't have to be, they can be colored carrots. which I love. In this case, I'm going to go with a pretty standard color. I'll go ahead and paint the celery straight through, and then I'll add some shadow detail afterwards. Even just a little hint adds so much. And with the same color, I'm going to go ahead and do the greens on this carrot. If I don't get close to my orange, I'll be okay. It's still wet. I don't have to add much detail, just a little bit. And you all get the idea really well. Look at that, just a few little squiggles. That's already drying, so I'm going to go ahead and put some darker color on this side. And go like that. And kind of distinguish the shape a little bit more. I can also use some outlining, but I want to see how far I can go with my paints first. I'm going to let that dry before I do any more on that last stalk. I just need my olive oil bottle. And for that, I think I'm going to do a dark green because that's usually the color of an olive oil bottle. Just to keep my colors balanced. There's no orange anywhere else, so I'm going to go ahead and make my bowl that color. Again, I've got orange down here and orange up there, so it doesn't get too heavy on one color in one place on the illustration. Oh, I don't think I like that color. And that's okay. I can change my mind. It's still wet. I'm just going to lift that and let the orange dry first. And I'll come back with some of this raw sienna for that. It's not different enough from that orange. In fact, I'll take some of that and do the top. Ooh, that's too dark for my taste. I think I'm ready for another layer on my turkey. I'm going to use some of this brick red, and I'm going to go a little easy. Yeah, I'll just kind of highlight the top. That's starting to look pretty yummy. I think I could almost eat that turkey. Still a little detail yet to do, but that's a good start. I think that's enough. Oh, my pine nuts, and I want to use that raw sienna because there's not a lot of it, and it's a very, very nice color for this illustration, where it blends with a lot. Ooh, I think I might have gotten it too watery, so we'll just have to come back around if I don't see enough color there. When you get your paints too watery, they get diluted literally once they dry, so we'll see. And then the plate. I might want to add a little bit of blue to this illustration, and right in the center would be perfect because then I don't have to worry about balancing it out with much. And I definitely want to make these also raw sienna, as I mentioned. Just light. That's perfect. I'm going to keep it kind of on the light side so it doesn't take over, since it's the only blue on the page. But it'll also make the turkey stand out. that's another trick. As long as the color is complementary to the others on the page, it should be, or even if it's not, it creates a really bold effect. One more thing is a little stem for my apple without getting my hand in the paint. And add a little bit of it to some of these other veggies too. Okay, maybe the tiniest bit of green here, maybe some lines like celery lines could be interesting. My 08 sized micron pen. This is a black fine liner that's archival, meaning it won't run if I get it wet. Once it dries, of course, I have to put it on. It has to dry. And then once it's dry, if I put any more watercolor on this, it won't run. So this is really useful. And I'm going to outline. Now I'm just going to go over my lettering, and I'm going to make it a little smaller, I think, and this one a little higher, and I think I'll be happy with that. Great. Now when I erase that, it'll come up a little higher, and I'll do the same here. Okay, I'm really happy with where that's sitting, both of them. This one should be dry, so I'm going to go ahead and erase all the pencil. Some of this is still tiniest bit not dry, so I'm going to start up here. I like to use a brush from my garage so I don't get my hands, if they're dirty, on my illustration, and it stays as clean as possible. And I can see what else I need to erase. Oh, that came out cute. So this is how simple it can be. You can rearrange your elements. You can, again, change your recipe to something else, and it's just a whole lot of fun, and it's easy. I really hope you enjoyed that painting, and I can't wait to see your version of this project. If you get a chance to paint it, I would love to see your version in the private Facebook community. You can also post your questions in the comments below, or of course in the group, which is a safe space for you to share your projects and thoughts. You can find the link to the group in the description. If you're just finding this watercolor painting channel on YouTube, I have a watercolor painting challenge you can join for free. You'll get access to the lessons, the full color workbook, the Facebook group community I talked about before, and an online challenge hub, all for free, so you don't want to miss it. There's a link to sign up in the description. And when you share your artwork in the group, you might even see it featured in one of these videos. Thanks so much for being here. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I would so appreciate it if you would hit the like button subscribe to this channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos as they come out. And I'll see you next time.